My dick, my back, so my back, so my dick, my back, my back, my dick, my back, so my
I often find it easier to be teaching or giving to others, and often struggle with the place of my own pleasure and joy. Bell hooks.
So the TikTok you just saw is from my Ideal Arrangement series. I put that out in late 2023. It's 3 novellas in it. It's just the first volume, and there will be other volumes. But I wrote it because of a concept I've been thinking about a lot at the time, which is pleasure as resistance. Now, mind you, this was before the current Tangerine Tyranny 2.0, but I'd already lived through America's Tangerine Tyranny 1.0 and all the years before that since the early 80s, and I have seen some things. A lot of times I hear people say black joy is resistance, and I agree with that. But if we go a little bit deeper to pleasure, which is a deeper level of joy, then we're really resisting. So how does that work? Well, in an environment where you're constantly dehumanized, marginalized, and exploited, anything you do for your own enjoyment flies in the face of your oppressor.
The sharing of joy, whether physical, emotional, psychic, or intellectual, forms a bridge between the sharers, which can be the basis for understanding much of what is not shared between them and lessens the threat of their difference. Audre Lorde. So that's why you'll see non-black people constantly analyzing and scrutinizing the ways that black people celebrate. So whatever the case might be, you're going to see them scrunching up their nose, like the kids celebrating a graduation. Maybe they start dancing. Or the whole wine train incident where the black women were together on the wine train, just enjoying drinks in each other's companies, and they were laughing. And people complained that they laughed too loud. Ask yourself why. Whatever we do as black people, even when it's positive, even when it's not hurting anybody, is up for debate and scrutiny and criticism. So, what is that even about? I don't know. Maybe they feel left out when they still celebrating. Either way, it's not an excuse to interfere with it, with what we have going on, with unsolicited critique, or coming on Beyonce's internet and making a think piece about it. That's not the vibes. So if we know that our public enjoyment is policed way more than it should be, then that means our private joy is even more precious. That's why there's things that happen in my life that I consider intimate moments that you'll never see me putting on these internet streets. Some things have to be protected from the prying eyes and constantly running mouths of people who I don't know and whose opinions I do not care about. That's where ideal arrangements came from. My desire to show black women experiencing pleasure that no one can police. They are having consensual encounters with empathy, emotional intelligence, and mutual respect. So basically, what I'm saying is, as black women, we deserve pleasure. We deserve to honor our own desires, to care for ourselves in what ways we see fit, especially when those ways don't harm anybody else. And when everybody who is involved in the ways that we use is a consenting adult. And it doesn't matter what anybody thinks about it. It's really none of their business. And there's a lot to unpack when it comes to the reasons why people think it is their business, why they try to make it their business, what black women are up to. And we've talked about some of that. But the bottom line is, I'm not about any of that. Especially at this age and this stage in my life, I really don't care. Like, I cannot muster the care for worrying about what other people think about what I'm doing. I am very much grown. I'm going to do what feels right for me. And so in writing this series, I really wanted to play up this aspect of womanist theory that pleasure in itself is resistance. If you are seeking out pleasure, you are doing something simply because that's what the fuck you want to do. You are, as a black woman, a black femme, a black female presenting person, you are resisting. And sometimes that's all the resisting we can do in the moment. Maybe that's all the spoons we have. Maybe we don't have enough spoons or resources to get out on the streets and carry a sign, or, you know, go beat down the door of the courthouse, or whatever type of things we might do as an act of protest. Maybe this is all the protests we have right now. And whether this is the only way you protest or not, I don't think it matters. It is resistance in itself. So do what is right for you. And I owe a lot of what I have learned about myself and about womanist theory to the architects. Of course, we have to start with Dr. Anna Julia Haywood Cooper, the mother of feminism. In, 105 years on this earth, she accomplished many remarkable things and is looked up to as someone who really created the basis of what we consider feminist and womanist theory now. And we look to people like Bell Hooks, who I quoted in this video, and Audre Lorde, who I quoted in this video, Nikki Giovanni, and Toni Morrison, and Toni Cade Bambara, and all of these amazing writers and thinkers who left behind so much amazing work. Some of them are still with us. But that's where all of this comes from, the underpinning of sort of not just what I've been writing, but sort of the way that I've been moving through the world, the way I see the world, the way I see myself, how I teach when I'm in a classroom, how I engage with my clients, how I engage with readers. There are all these different aspects of it that are affected by this. And I think it's really important that we as Black women take that time for ourselves to determine, hey, what works for me? What's going to be best for me in this moment? Enough of, pouring out everything I have to take care of everybody else. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot pull a bucket of water out of the empty well. You have got to do whatever it takes. Like I said, that doesn't harm anybody else, but it's going to edify you, something that's going to hold you up so that you can do all the things that you're wanting to do, that the world's expecting you to do. That is something that is on you. You can't wait for somebody else to give it to you, right? You got to give it to yourself. Give yourself the gift of pleasure as resistance. So let me hear from you in the comments. Are you familiar with these great womanist thinkers? Have you read their work? What do you think about this idea of pleasure as resistance? Go down in the comments and tell me what you think about it. But I think if you really look at it, you'll see some value in it. But anyway, do all the things, like, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. Peace out. So